Hello people, it's Can't Remember. Look at that. It's holiday and I haven't uploaded a single video. Until now. You're not here to hear me ranting about myself, how fucking useless I am at uploading videos. You're here to watch the third episode of the Aggressive LMGs, where I'll be giving you a build and guide to play the LMGs a bit more offensively. And in this episode, it's all about the LSAT. The LSAT is a weapon that you with ease could haul in the midst of the pack for the LMGs. It has got a damage of 40 up close, dropping up to 24 at a distance. This translates to in shot to kill ranges, how many shots to kill at different ranges, is that it'll be killing in 3 to 5 shots in all ranges, 3 up close and 5 a bit more far away. Now the actual ranges on these different shots to kill, only the 3 and 4 are interesting because it's kind of obvious that the 5-shot kill range is infinite, unless you shoot through material, of course. But the 3-shot kill range is around 33 meters, and this is less than the Mark 48. Obviously that one had an insane range of like 80-ish, something around there, 80 meters 3-shot kill range. But this one has 33, which is, well, okay, it's better than the QBB. Then the 4-shot kill range, its 4-shot kill range is 71, and that's almost the Mark 48's 3-shot kill range, so you can see it's still far away from that, but it is way beyond the QBB's. It's about the double QBB's 4-shot kill range. So it's in the midst of the pack and, well, fully respectable and good stats. So then, hopping over to rate of fire. Rate of fire. The LSAT has a rate of fire at 720 RPM. Once again, this is in the midst of the pack, right in between the Mark and the QBB. Not exactly in the middle, but you can tell it's in between. It's a respectable property and rather normal compared to pretty much all the weapons in the game. Assault rifles, LMGs, SMGs, it's standard. It's a very normal rate of fire. With rapid fire, this RPM goes up to 900, the same as the QBB. While that might sound very nice, it pretty much halves the effective range and adds an enormous amount of kick, so it's an attachment no one ever recommends. It's so ridiculous. It's a bad attachment, I gotta say it right out. No, I don't recommend it. Please don't use it. This weapon will become pretty much unusable. Now, if you put all these stats into actual effect, what does it do to our time to kill? Our time to kill is between 0.18 and 0.35. This is not particularly fast, but it's very consistent due to decent damage and good range and decent fire rate. So it's very consistent. It's blah blah blah. It's okay, but it's hard to tell from just looking at the time to kill. But it has a lot longer range where it will be having a fast time to kill than many other weapons. So just reading from that, it looks very bad, but it's actually all okay. Another good attribute is the LSAT has a headshot multiplier of 1.2x, or just 1.2. This is rather good. It allows you to get 3 shots for a kill at longer ranges, and also 4-shot kill at longer ranges if you throw in a headshot. However, like the Mark 48, where it was godlike at close range, allowed you to get a 2-shot kill at close range, this one won't have any such effect at close range. However, it is very good at medium range, and that's where I recommend you should throw it in. Now, mag size. This is always fun, talking about the LMGs. The LSAT is no exception. 100 rounds in magazine regularly. This is highest in the game, and only the Mark is on par with it. And if you equip extended mags, it goes up to 135. However, it adds about a second in reload time, and I'm gonna hop into that, but as you probably can guess from it being an LMG, the reload time is slow, and you don't want to add another second to that. So extended mags, not recommended. 100 rounds is good as it is. Reload time is painfully slow, as mentioned before. A regular reload takes no less than 6.91 seconds. However, you can reload cancel and get it all the way down to a little less than 5 seconds at 4.87. So always reload cancel if it wasn't obvious already. It's rather easy, you're probably seeing me doing it a lot in these clips. That's all for that. Not much to do about this horrible trait, but handle it the best way you can by reload cancelling. Next up, the hip spread on the LSAT is poor. It has got a big hitbox, just as all the other LMGs. However, it hasn't got the small tweaks. The Mark 48 had a potential to get a 2-shot kill at close range, with one being a headshot, and both the QBB and Hammer have a 900 RPM, at least the Hammer on the first 6 shot. This one has got neither of the two, so therefore I classify this as the worst LMG to hipfire with. I recommend you to stay away from it. As all the LMGs, the LSAT has a minus 10% in movement speed. This is a shame when building an aggressive LMG class, but it's not too bad. It also has a minus 66% movement speed when moving around aiming down sights. This is horribly slow, and since LMG users usually sound a lot, you're a big fucking target, moving slow, you will be very easily killed if you stand out in the open, strafe around. Even if you strafe around, you'll be very bloat and slow target and easy to kill. So be careful when shooting and strafing about, aiming down sights. Use stock. Handling traits. Yay. LSAT has a knifing speed of 1.57, slowest in class, in game, in the world. Very bad. Don't knife. It has an aim down sights time of in 0.48 and out 0.45. The out one being the slowest in the game. No, actually the XPR has, the XPR is a slower one, but never mind about that. It is slow and you should be careful. Race time is 0.83 and drop time is 0.5. Slow, slow, slow. What's more to say? Haha, for once I was actually done with the stats before I ran out of clips. But, time to start talking again. Hop into the recoil, which I'll be showing here on the beautiful walls of Raid. The recoil on the LSAT is moderate. It is very much handleable, and actually rather low compared to most of the weapons in the game. The iron sights are very clear in my opinion. There's not much big bulgy things on the side, just a little ring around it. Blocks off sometimes, but mostly not much of a problem. The muzzle flash can sometimes disturb your accuracy at longer ranges, so a silencer is actually not a very bad choice. If you also want to specify this weapon to a certain range, we don't want it extreme close range like the QBB, and we don't want extreme long range with Mark 48. But as you see here, I tested around a bit with the regular silencer and reflex, and in my opinion silencer is the best. Reflex is really not necessary. Zoom level is the same essentially. Yay, it's time for the build. As mentioned, the LSAT is a bit of a hybrid. It's in the midst of the pack for the LMGs. Therefore, I want to kind of specify it to give it a certain role, and not just a boring ass hybrid one. Like, it's a bit like Mark 48 and QBB, so let's just throw in a mix and play with that. No, we'll build something new. We are going to build a stealth build. First, however, we'll be equipping the stock, an attachment that you by now probably have noticed I pretty much can't play an LMG without. Why is it so necessary? It brings up that horribly slow movement speed 180s to a pretty decent speed. Even though we are supposed to be striking from behind enemy lines, and won't be that necessary actually in those situations. You can't limit yourself to those encounters. You will still be encountering enemies head on. You will have to get dirty and down when capturing objectives and doing things like that, or when just encountering enemies on your way to a flanking route. So sometimes it is still necessary to be able to strafe around a bit, so that's why you have it. Now, for the most obvious attachment when building a stealth build, we're equipping the suppressor. And while the LMGs get a rather big penalty, they get a 30% reduction in range, it is still very necessary when building a stealth build, obviously, and equipping the suppressor, you will have a 3-shot kill range, I've calculated this, of about 23 meters. Often, that is actually enough when playing stealthy, when being behind enemy lines, and most encounters are at a somewhat close range, not necessarily close, but middle, and I consider middle range to be about 20 meters, somewhere around there. So it's still a good range and enough for most encounters where you will be stealthy. So imagine yourself 3 shots at 720 RPM up to 23 meters. That is still good, and it allows us to play stealthy. Now, no primary gunfighter, no quick draw. You'll have to be prepared when entering gunfights. We are going to fix that later on, because you might still think if you run on a stealth route and encounter an enemy, this setup with the LMG won't be very good. You'll drop dead instantly because, well, hipfire is poor and we have a slow aim time. But we are going to fix that. However, first we will be fixing our perks. And before picking our blue perks, I already spoiled it, we'll be picking perk 1 Greed. It allows us to take 2 very important perks for playing aggressively, flanking, and being stealthy. First up is of course Ghost. It allows us to stay hidden from UAVs while moving about and doing stuff. Of course, we will be doing that all the time, since we're a flanking stealth class. Now for the second blue pack, we're equipping Lightweight. I feel this is a must for such a slow weapon. It adds 7% to our movement speed, 7% units, not 7% of our 90%. That would bring some crazy decimal number up. So it brings our movement speed to 97% of regular movement speed when moving about. A lot more okay, and you'll barely notice you have any penalty then. Also, it allows you to take these unorthodox shortcuts when hopping down from high heights. Just a nice little extra bonus. This is very important when flanking, when running around. You don't want to take forever doing that, be away from the fight for such a long time, and actually the flanking opportunity where perhaps your friend and the enemies, your team and the enemies have gotten stuck in a certain situation. You can run around, shoot the enemies from the side, and therefore leave the situation and allow some mobility on the battlefield again. For green perk, we'll be equipping Toughness. However, this perk can be widely discussed which one is best. Cold-blooded doesn't have to be a stealth perk, and well, I don't really see it very necessary. Hardwired is good, but meh, we're not that interested in blocking off a counter UAV and EMP. Scavenger fast hand isn't interesting since we won't be using equipment. Why not? Well, when we are behind enemy lines, we don't want to spend any time on that with a weapon that already has slow handling traits. We don't want to risk anything like that, being stuck in the midst of throwing a grenade. No thanks, we'll be skipping that. Simply use toughness. It is not very vital for our stealth and flanking thingies, but since we still want to be able to tackle regular situations where we have to take objectives and do regular things, encounter people head on, we still want to have some ability to do that without kicking like a mule every time somebody shoots us. Which third perk is the best one can also be discussed. I have chosen dexterity, since when we break our sprint from flanking around, we want to get quick up. If we encounter an enemy on our flanking route while we're running around, we want to be quick up. Since this weapon has slow handling traits, every millisecond is important, so getting up quickly is very good, and therefore I've chosen dexterity. Having the build just like this is not complete. We will still be very vulnerable if we run into enemies at close range with our slow handling traits, slow aim down sight time, so we need something else. We need a good secondary. This is what we will be fixing right now. The TAC-45 is famous for its decent 2-shot kill range within the pistol class, and it is a pistol of choice for us. It is perfect for pulling out just quickly, taking a single target down, even if the target happens to be 5, 6, 7, 8 meters away. It's still a 2-shot kill and will drop them very quickly. We will be complementing this with dual wield, which is surprisingly effective. It gives us double the firepower, however it lowers the accuracy a lot. But since I saw Drifter's video recently about the dual wield damage buff, I've realized it's a very good attachment. It adds another few meters for the TAC-45's 2-shot kill range, and I think it brings it all the way up to like 13, 14 meters of 2-shot kill range, which is excellent, and the TAC-45 will be working as a perfect backup. When you run into somebody at close range, you'll just be pulling it up and you can drop them very, very quickly. With that, we've actually spent our last point in our build. This looks like one hell of a tricky stealth build. But one thing you need to get straight. When playing stealthy, it's not all about coming close up to an unexpected enemy. It's about encountering unexpected enemies and getting on target and killing them before they know you're there. But it doesn't have to be close range. You can take long routes and then encounter enemies, see them from long range, and at long ranges an LMG or an assault rifle works better than an SMG, especially when the SMGs have suppressed, they have no fucking damage over range at all. So really you need to think twice. Stealth doesn't have to be close combat, it can as well be medium and long range. It's just about staying unseen and taking a bit of a longer route, and now with lightweight and ghost we are allowed to do this without getting spotted. Toughness allows us to fight in regular combat. Dexterity allows us to be prepared if we run into an enemy during the flanking, and the TAC-45 fends them off. Truth is, the weapons with the slower handling traits, they win more on flanking and encountering enemies unseen, getting the first shot off. Think like this. If you have two weapons, one weapon having the faster time to kill, but also having a slower time to aim down sight. Both of these weapons are used by someone who has encountered an enemy, say 20 meters away, that are unaware of your presence. The person won't notice anything and will keep standing in the same spot until you've shot him or her. So if you aim down sights with both of the weapons, it doesn't matter if one have a slower time for aiming down sight, since the enemy won't do anything until he or her have been shot at. Then when you start firing, the weapon with the lower time to kill will, of course, win the match there. The enemy will have less time to react, will die quicker, and therefore a weapon with slower handling traits win more on encountering enemies with the the unawareness of your presence. So fast time to kills are very important when playing stealth. If you don't have it, then there's no point in playing stealthy. Hope you enjoy the build. Very different, very unusual to see stealth builds of LMGs. Hope you find it useful. It might take some time getting used to, but it's a good build. Although you didn't see me play anything with it, I actually hit 2 quad feats with it the first match I tried it out as silencer, and I got lots of good gameplay. However, the Black Ops 2 theaters decided to fuck me up, and now I don't have any of it left, which is just fucking pain in the ass. So fuck Black Ops 2 theaters. I used what gameplay I had. Hope you enjoyed the video. Adios.